In this video, we're going to have a look at how we can use a background image to help us with modelling our building. So often it's really hard to accurately model the scale and size of elements in a building when you work in the perspective mode like I'm in at the moment. And the reason for that is quite often we're only looking at 2 dimensions on the screen and can sometimes put things in the wrong place, either spatially or in terms of size. So a lot of 3D modelers will use a reference image or drawing, which I'm going to use in this case, to use as a basis to model against. Essentially going to basically trace what you can see in the drawing with the simple creation tools that we have in Blender to work with. It's pretty easy to do. The first thing you need to do is have an image to work with, and I've kind of got a side elevation which I drew here of the Freiburg pool. So this is just based off a reference photograph I took. Got out a ruler and a pencil and pen and drew it up. You could probably do the same thing in Illustrator to get this kind of view for it, and I've just scanned it on a scanner, and I'm going to bring it into Blender to use as the basis of my model of the Freiburg pool. It's pretty easy to do. I'm just sitting here in Blender, just open it up. I've got the default cube in. That's okay, I can leave it there. One thing I do need to do is I need to change my perspective view, because in order for us to successfully use a reference image to draw from, I need to be in what's called an orthographic view. And an orthographic view is where we see things from the side on or above or below. And it's easy to set that, although my Blender's not working fantastically well at the moment. There, I've clicked it on. You can just go up here to the top right, just go back in perspective mode and click on, in this case I've clicked on the x-axis, and it gives me what's called a right orthographic view. So I can still see my cube, which is all right, but I've got my workspace set up to bring in my reference image. Now it's important that you're working in the orthographic view, because if I'm just in my normal perspective mode like this, then the image will come in at whatever angle I have for this. So really important, go up to the right, click on the angle that you want to view from. Next thing, just need to make sure I'm in object mode, and I'm just going to go add, and if I come about halfway down we see image, and I'm just going to choose a background image. And all you need to do is to navigate through to where you have your image. So in this case I've got a folder, Digital Studio 2 images, and I've got my JPEG image there of the Freiburg pool, and just click on load background image and it will load in to your workspace. You'll notice up here in the properties that we have this thing called an empty. So an empty is not a 3D object, it's just an empty space, and in this case I place the image inside the empty. Now I can do a couple of things with it. I can move it, so I'm just going to kind of center it. And then the other thing I might do is just scale it, make it a little bit bigger to give me something that I can easily trace over when it comes time. Just having a little bit of a nightmare, so I'm just kind of resting it on the ground plane to work with. And that's the way that you bring a reference image in to work with. In the next video I'll just show you how we can now use this background image as a reference to create a model with.